Hi everyone, welcome to this tutorial number 6. Today we're going to see the build mode. So here I'm in quite empty space, and to open the build mode I can go in Control B on my keyboard, so that opens the build mode, or I could have used the write down menu here using the little key. Okay, so what we can see here is that we can create, clone, edit, remove object, that those objects can be created using a snap mode, that means some kind of magnetic grid, or freely like this, that we can scale our object by hand, or we can scale it using the mouse scroll, or you can use also, you can find here in this question mark some very useful key bindings. So for example, Z, Control Y if you want under redo, or things like Control plus mouse wheel, or Q Shift plus mouse wheel. We'll go through those, but take time to watch at those key bindings. They're very useful. So we can see that we can create some objects, like for example a cube, that we can add some materials on it. So let's say some gray bricks, and that we can add some physics to our object. That means that there will be some rigid body, and that we can create functionalities, and we will see this a little later. So first let's create some cube in the free mode. Okay, here. Now let's jump to edit mode, click on our object. So now we can move our object. We can with Control Shift or Alt transform our object like this. Okay, you can see here on the top there is a little gray menu, so we can give a name to our object like wall 1, and we can also delete our object. We can go back to a state before. So let's say like translated D. This means I have moved my object, so it put it back in place. So we can move our objects in the world space or local space, and we can change from translate to rotate to scale. You can see that things are changing here on the screen. You can move our object. Okay, so let's go back to normal position. Back to translate. You can move from back to rotation to translate, using those key bindings here. So let's remove our object like this and create a nice, neat new one. Okay, we go in edit mode. We have our object, and now we're going to try to create first some clones of this object, but in free mode it's not easy, so let's jump to snap mode. And you can see that now it's much easier to create some little wall, for example. Okay, let's move a little, and let's do like this. Okay, so let's go and edit. Good. Now if I want my wall to be in one group, so when I click on it I move it as one piece, I use Control and select all the pieces of my wall. Then on the top here, gray bar, when group, give a name like wall 1 group, and press enter. And now if I go here in tools, scene, to open this in structure, I should see here a group named wall 1 group containing the 7 cubes. And I can close this now. If I click here in select groups, if I don't, I can select pieces one by one, but if I select this, I can now, when I click on my object, select all the pieces all by one. Okay, good. So what else can we see? Yeah, we can see that create physics is activated, so that means that my avatar, when he will walk in our wall, he will bump on it. and can't go through as it's blocked with the rigid body. Also, we see that we can create some functionalities. For that, let's create some new cube in a free mode, like here for example, and then go in edit, select my cube, move it a little, maybe change its scale to something like, we can scroll it like this, and maybe the dead axis is a bit too big, so let's make it lower, like 0.1, 0.2 would be good. Okay, 0.2. And then with our object selected, we're gonna click on web browser. So we see that I've already put Google as URL. So we see that we have now a web page. If I close this and close the build mode with Control B, I can now see that in our web page I can write inside the search bar, for example, image, press enter, and I see that now I can navigate through Google, so and go in several kind of pages that are in Google, like maps, or anything. Okay, so also let's go back in build mode, so Control B. Also on edit mode, I could have put a media player also inside. So that means that I put some content inside my storage, or inside a storage on the internet, and then I can put different kind of medias like music, videos, and then decide if it's only audio or if it's loaded automatically when it starts, or if it's on loop playback, and on which submesh of the object you will add your content. So you could have several materials on your objects if you have subdivide your UVs. So this is why you can choose between different targets on your object. So let's close this media player because you can't have the both at the same time. So right click here, say remove, and we only have now the web browser on our object. Okay, so I think we've done about the build mode, and last thing you could see is that you can now remove your object using this remove tool like this. You were not to delete the ground or you would fall. Okay, so this is it for today. See you very soon for the next tutorial.